Welcome in. This is the Early Edge for Friday, April 16th, 2021. I'm Rick Gehman filling in for Coach this morning, and we have got a ton of action across all the sports today. But before we get to that, let me remind you, we went 3-1 yesterday on the show. Larry, of course, 2-0, gave out another winner on Twitter. We even cashed with the Bruins in the NHL, and we fell just one small leg short of hitting that jeweler's gem. Also, a little programming note, the MMA preview is already in your feeds. That's the coach with Ian Parker. But now we've got NBA, we've got MLB, we've got golf. So let me bring in my cappers for today. I've got Mike McClure sitting right there in the middle. Mikey, good to see you.
Good to see you, Rick. Can't wait for the show today with you. It's always fun. We'll see if Chief makes an appearance. He seems to only make them when you're on camera with me recently.
Fingers crossed we can get a Chief sighting. We've got a Maestro sighting. Hey, Larry, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Rick. It's been a good little run. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, let's do it. A couple storylines at the top here. Mike, it's that time of the season in the NBA. There's always something going on. So tell us what's going on.
Definitely something going on here. We've got 11 games in the NBA tonight, starting with Oklahoma City and Detroit, the two teams that are tanking the hardest at this point. For Detroit, Mason Plumlee, Dennis Smith Jr., Corey Joseph, Wayne Ellington, Jeremy Grant, and Rodney Magruder all ruled out. On the Oklahoma City Thunder side, Mike Muscala out, Lou Dort questionable, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander still out. Probably going to be more on their injury report this afternoon, so that's one you'll have to watch. For the Los Angeles Clippers, Paul George is upgraded to probable. Kawhi Leonard is questionable. They're playing Philly on the road. I expect one of them will probably end up sitting. On the Philadelphia side, Dwight Howard and Tobias Harris are both questionable. For the Orlando Magic, Michael Carter-Williams is out. Mo Bamba questionable. Otto Porter out. On the Toronto side, they are resting essentially everyone as well. OG Anunoby out. Kyle Lowry out. Pascal Siakam out. DeAndre Bembry out. Gary Trent Jr. out. Fred VanVleet is the only regular who will be playing for Toronto tonight. For the Brooklyn Nets, James Harden remains out. Kevin Durant is available to return. Blake Griffin available to return. Let's see. One other big one. Karl Anthony Towns is questionable to play tonight in that matchup against the Miami Heat.
We might have to change that segment to who's actually in instead of who's actually out. Might go a little bit quicker. But Larry, you've got a storyline, might not impact the betting lines for tonight, but might impact a little bit of the future of our industry.
Yeah, kind of an earth-shaking week for legalization with the NFL partnering with three major bookmakers. Arizona becoming the 27th state to legalize sports betting. There's going to be a book right in the Phoenix Suns arena. And, you know, we've just come so far. And I thank Ray Lesniak. He's the guy that it all starts with, this former state senator from New Jersey who pushed that bill, pushed legalization, got the case to the Supreme Court. Without him, you know, none of this might be happening this fast. I think it would have happened at some point, but it's just amazing how far we've come.
This is where we insert that little rocket ship emoji up and to the right for sports betting here in the States. And if you want to get in on the action over at SportsLine, you can do so by using the promo code EDGE. That'll give you your first 30 days for free. And I've got a pick from our very own Matt Severance, who is 7-2 in his last 9 Major League Baseball ATS picks. And today, it's the Cubbies on the run line, plus 1.5 over the Braves. Matt tells me the Cubs, they're not hitting it all that well, but they are a little bit better at home, and they were off on Wednesday. So they've got all their arms available in the bullpen, unlike the Atlanta Braves, who have had to use 4 relievers, including a temporary closer. It's getting a little bit ugly over there, but they did come back and win on Thursday against the Miami Marlins. The Braves lefty starter, that's Drew Smiley. He hasn't been good in 2 starts, while the Cubs are running out Zach Davies, who was decent in 1, awful in the other. We're going to hope we get a decent one this time around. They're 5-1. The Cubs are in their past 6 against lefties, and they might not win this game, but they shouldn't lose it by more than a run. So we're going to take them on the run line. All right, Mikey, you have got a couple of MLB picks for us as well today. Tell us where you're going.
I'm going to start with Cleveland at Cincinnati here. I'm going to use the Cleveland Indians at plus 105. I like Logan Allen here, left-handed pitcher. I think this is a good spot for him. I think he can navigate this Reds lineup. Meanwhile, it's really about the Cleveland Indians lineup against Jeff Hoffman. I'm not really sure how Hoffman still has a job at this level, frankly. He's not a good pitcher. It's a tough environment overall for him to pitch in. I like the spot for the Indians. I actually have them as minus 112 in my simulations. So a little bit of value here at plus 105. I think it's one of the better plays of the day. And then my second one is going to be the San Francisco Giants on the road, minus 130 against the Miami Marlins. This is a pretty lopsided matchup in terms of starting pitching here. Anthony DeSclafani is actually a very good pitcher. This is a strong pitching environment for him, for the Giants. He's only really vulnerable to left-handed batters, and this Miami team is one of the most right-handed hitting teams in all of baseball. I'm projecting them to only have 2 left-handed bats in the lineup tonight, which is not good when you can normally try 2 platoon against a right-handed pitcher, but they just simply don't have the ability to do that. And then on the other side, Daniel Castano, he is not someone who's going to have a strikeout rate that's very threatening. And this Giants team crushes left-handed pitching. They're going to have 8 of 9 right-handed hitters in this lineup tonight. Take the Giants minus 130.
All right, 2 picks in Major League Baseball for Mike. Let's turn our attention to golf. They're underway right now in the second rounds of the RBC Heritage, and I've got 2 second-round matchups for you. First off, Stewart Cink, minus 105 over Lucas Glover. Glover goes out, gains 5 strokes putting on Thursday. That is an unbelievable number, especially for a guy who ranks 158th in putting this season. Stewart Cink, he's won here twice. He knows Harbor Town. He has been great from tee to green. He has been great on approach. That goes off at 12:01 p.m. Eastern time. And then Rory Sabatini in a 3-ball over Chesson Hadley and Tommy Fleetwood. That's plus 150. Sabatini, the only guy in this group currently sitting inside the cut line, maybe a little bit more motivation than the other 2 to find his way to the weekend. And he's the only golfer in this group that has gained strokes on approach, and he has played well here at this event in the past. 8 top 25s in his 10 trips. In his last 10 trips. That goes off at 1:29 p.m. Eastern time. And then Coach phones in a pick. He likes Will Zalatoris over Sung Jae Im. He notes that Zalatoris is crazy motivated. The only way he gets into the FedEx Cup playoffs is with a victory. And he shot a 3-under round on Thursday with a double bogey on the card. So plenty of upside in that matchup as well. It's time for you, Maestro. Let's bring you in. You've got NBA picks. You've got some props, of course. You've got a Major League Baseball play. Let's hear them.
All right, I'm going to start in Major League Baseball, and I'm going to play the Phillies. And it really has to do with Carlos Martinez for the Cardinals. He was terrible last season. He's gotten off to a terrible start, 0-2 with a 6.30 ERA. Phillies haven't been hitting much, but I think this is a good spot for them. Bryce Harper actually 2 homers in 7 career at bats. I'm going to play the Phillies as minus 130 home favorites. And then in the NBA, going back to the well with a few familiar names, starting with Russell Westbrook. This total is 242. It's going to be a crazy pace in New Orleans, a ton of shots, and I hope a ton of rebounds. He's gone 14 rebounds or more in 10 of his last 12. The number now is 12.5. They're jacking it up, but you are getting plus money, plus 105 to go over. Westbrook is averaging 37 minutes this month. I'm going to go over on Westbrook rebounds. And then in one game, Rockets-Nuggets, another game that should have a ton of scoring. The Rockets have given up 125 or more in 4 straight. Michael Porter Jr., 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's gone over it. I believe it's 4 straight. He hasn't shot below 50%. He's only shot below 50% once since February 23rd. The Rockets just not defending. I think he gets into the 30s, at least 32. And then on the other side, Kevin Porter Jr., a ton of opportunity for him. Starting lineup in a game, a high-scoring game. His number, 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. This kid has had 5 games this season where he's gotten 37 minutes, and he's gone over this total in all 5. Last 2 games, he's played 40 and 41. So I'm going over on Kevin Porter Jr. as well.
A couple of Porter Juniors there. Thank you very much, Larry. Jacob, show me the big board so we can get the recap underway. Mike likes the Indians and the Giants. I'm going to go with Stewart Cink over Lucas Glover in a round 2 matchup at the RBC Heritage, along with Rory Sabatini over Chesson Hadley and Tommy Fleetwood. That's a 3-ball. Coach phones in, lets us know he likes Zalatoris over Sung Jae Im. Same thing, round 2. And then Larry the Maestro going with the Phillies at home, minus 140. Russell Westbrook to get over 12.5 12.5 rebounds, and a couple of props with the Porter Juniors. That's Michael Porter Jr. over 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and Kevin Porter Jr. over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. The SportsLine site play is, of course, the Cubs on the run line, which makes the Jeweler's Gem parlay of the day. The Cubs on the run line, the Phillies on the money line, over 6 with the Kings at the Colorado Avalanche. You win all those, it pays plus 458. This is the time where I tell you we are going to take all these tickets straight to the pay window. That is me channeling my inner coach. Let me thank Jacob. Let me thank Larry. Let me thank Mike. I'm Rick Gehman, and this has been your Early Edge.